Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday, March the 28th. How are you guys doing out there in the world today? Welcome to the Wednesday version of Restored to Freedom. So welcome to everyone. Hopefully you're having a good day and enjoying the middle part of the week as we wind our way down to the end of March. I'll get this shared. I love it now. I get to share to groups, and it's really, really easy to do now. So boom, 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 boom. So, hello. Welcome, Carol. Welcome, Kelly. Welcome, Nick. Let me see, who else shall I share this with? I think I'll share it with those groups again. I'll share with that one too. Anyway, so welcome Robin, welcome Michelle. So hopefully you're having a good day today. I am enjoying my time temporarily at where I used to live. I now am going to be leaving here tomorrow morning and driving up to Canada, which is about an 8-hour drive to get to my destination. My destination is in Niagara Falls, Ontario. I have been there once before, last August, and it was beautiful. We had had the sun come out. I could see a rainbow. In fact, it was part of my background on my Facebook profile for many, many months since then. So I've just changed it recently. So anyway, hello, Anna. You are babysitting today. Hello, Harold from Terre Haute. Haven't seen you here for a while, I don't think. Maybe you have, but I've not noticed you. Hello, David Meads from San Antonio. So welcome. So today, I'm going to be talking about how the Lord wants to restore our childlike fun and innocence. And before I get into that, I'm going to share a little bit about how God is starting to move upon Restored to Freedom and getting more people to be aware of, what the ministry is all about, getting people set free and delivered, and how we can do it in a cool way and not a scary way. So, hey, Janelle Woodruff from San Antonio, welcome. So before I get started with the topic today, I'm actually talking about how now we're up to, I think, almost 21,000 people now between the Restored to Freedom page and my personal profile, as well as the Jezebel Ahab Leviathan support group that are now following the ministry. So it's cool to see it grow. 21,000 would have been blew me away had it, been, even it was, I guess it was 2 years ago, I had about maybe, 500 people that were following. So it's gone from 500 to 21,000. And in fact, it did it pretty quickly. Starting late last September, I had maybe, at that point, I think I had around 7,000. So it's gone from 7,000 to 21,000. It's tripled basically in just a matter of months. So that's kind of cool. And part of that growth has been a ministry called Restoring Relationships. In fact, Janelle is a part of that. She's out of San Antonio. The guy that started that up, his name is Dominic Herbst. He's out of Pennsylvania. Hello, Sherelle. And the ministry, Restoring Relationships, has been in place in a lot of different churches, such as like Cornerstone Church down in John Hagee's church in San Antonio, and other churches. He's traveled around the country. He's been on, I believe, the Montel Williams show when that was in existence, and some other shows. A lot of people he's worked with are professional athletes and everyone in between. So anyway, he's got a program called Restoring Relationships that I've gone through myself personally. One of my close friends and ministry partners is also going through it right now, seeing tremendous value with that, and it helps people to take a look at their lives and various pains and struggles that we've gone through. I look back in my life, and I didn't think I had really much stuff to go through. I had a good father, good mother, and in my opinion, and my pain didn't really start until my first marriage, and then my son, what he went through, and having to go through 10 years of dealing with demonic spirits with my son, and how he was very hard to deal with constantly. And then my second wife was one of the more extreme cases I had to go through. But now that I've come away from that, when I look back on my life and I was going through this Restoring Relationships program, it was very helpful in realizing that there were some pains, there were some things that my mom and my dad weren't perfect, that, caused me to have to reflect on things and to think about, gee, this could have happened, differently, should have happened differently, various things in my life. And it's neat because at the end of that program, you write a confront letter to anyone that you've had pain with. You don't have to give it to them, of course, but it's really, really cool because I didn't realize some of the pain that I went through with my first wife that was pretty significant. I thought my second wife had the most extreme stuff that I had to endure, and it was, but ultimately my first wife, I had some pains there I needed to deal with. And then ultimately it's kind of neat because it actually has you write a confront letter to God. And I would have never thought to have done that. And it was really interesting because I'm like, well, I don't have anything bad to say about God. God's been good to me, And it's like, well, yeah, but, Nelson, you did have to go through some things that weren't fun to go through, that you had to really sacrifice, peace and go through a lot of horrible, abuse. But so I wrote that letter to God, and it was really, really cool because obviously God can take anything because he's God, But what I'm excited about is that it will help people that once you get delivered from demons, or maybe even before you've gotten delivered from demons, you still need to deal with the soul wounds that you've had. And so Restoring Relationships is a great program. It's been established for, at least, I don't know how long, Janelle, 10 years, 12 years, something like that, and has been proven. And so I'm going to be interviewing Dominic. We don't know yet exactly when, but I'm going to be interviewing him. I'm going to talk to him next week about this. Sometime in the next probably 30 days, I would guess. And you'll be able to be aware of who he is and how he helps people in relationships, helps those that are having marriages that are challenges. I deal with those, that have had demons, Jezebel, Leviathan, Ahab, most of you that know me. We've seen tremendous successes, where people change, a lot of them overnight, sometimes progressively, where they don't hear the voices anymore of the enemy, and they are able to walk in peace, and they don't strive, and they aren't mean anymore. So anyway, it's kind of neat to have another program ministry that I can kind of refer people to, and vice versa. He's referring a lot of his people over to Restored to Freedom to get delivered. So it's kind of a neat partnership the Holy Spirit's put together, and looking forward to that. So anyway, the topic of the day, let's get into this, is the Lord wants to restore our childlike fun and innocence. And a lot of people did not have fun or innocence when they were children. A lot of people grew up where they were being hurt by lack of a father, or a father that was hurtful to them, or a mother that was controlling, manipulative, or were not in their lives. And they have a lot of pain to look backwards. More than 30 years in total, Janelle. Okay, so wow, that's a long time for Dominic and Restoring Relationships. So again, we're looking forward to that interview very much. So a lot of people, though, when they grew up, they had fathers and mothers that did not love them the way they should, and they got hurt, or they could have been molested, by siblings or by moms, dads, anyone, and shown things that have drawn them into sexual sins that they can't get rid of. It's the enemy does a lot of things to kids, and he hurts them. And what I have seen through my ministry, and what I've seen through other that have gone through the deliverance, is that they're having their innocence, they're having their purity, they're having their childlike fun restored to them now. I can say it in my own life. I am enjoying my life more than I ever have before, ever. And I grew up with a good father, grew up with a good mother. I had fun, even though looking back, it maybe wasn't as the innocence as what I could have had. But for the most part, it was very good. I know a lot of people never had that, and they don't even know what it's like. What is it like to have fun, to enjoy your life? And so many people have had that stolen. And there's a song by Bethel called, well, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's one of the things is, I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. And what does that mean to be a child? And if we've never known what it's like to be an innocent child, then how do you become that again? So in Matthew 18:1-5, New King James Version, it says, At that time the disciples came to Jesus, saying, "Who then is greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Then Jesus called a little child to him, set him in the midst of them, and said, "Assuredly I say to you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever receives one little child like this in my name receives me." And it's interesting just in my own personal life to see my journey of being restored to becoming more like a child, to have fun, to be have wholesome fun. Obviously I'm not talking about the world's idea of fun. My idea of fun is to go for walks, in the park, to have fun, to play with dogs, to throw frisbees, to play, golf, I love children. I love to hang out with kids. I love to love on kids. I used to always teach kids when I was in Sunday school class, and the kids always drew to me because I would be funny. I always like to have fun, to enjoy my life, and a lot of people never had that. Or I can tell, when I'm teaching kids, that the kids were being hurt by their moms or their dads, and they were not in the right space, and I have a compassion for them. I have a love to try to make their lives a little better, to encourage them, and it's sad, when they're in the midst of a father or mother that's being hurt by their spirits of Jezebel, Leviathan, and they're taking it out on their children. But the Lord is restoring that to me. He told me, before I ended up getting married, my second wife, that I would love her like Christ loved the church. And then on my wedding night, I saw a different side of her that was really not fun. And then he told me I couldn't tell anybody, but I'd be going through a lot of abuse, basically. And I couldn't tell anybody, but it would be good in the end. That ultimately, there would be lots of lives around the world that would be saved from the same spirits that were tormenting my wife. And so it's exactly what's played out, But he also said to me, he said, someday it will be good to be you. Someday you will enjoy your life again, like for the first time. And it will be truly a neat thing to watch. And so exactly what I've been told by the Lord is happening now. I am enjoying my life. I am traveling all over the place. I love to travel. I get to see people from all parts of the country. I'm going to be going to Canada for the first time, going out of the country for ministry purposes. And wherever I go, I like to have fun. I like to enjoy. I like to laugh. Even when I'm doing deliverance sessions, I like to get people to laugh. Too many people get so serious and get scared. Oh my gosh, we're talking about demons. Oh me, oh my. And I'm like, seriously, demons we have authority over, just like Jesus did. But we have to know our authority. Otherwise, you will get scared. You will be in fear. And so what I want to do is, what would Jesus do if he came into these cities today? He would try to get people delivered as much as he could, and then he would try to restore them to the childlike fun and faith and having their innocence returned to them, restored. So I had some fun the last time I was in Texas, and I don't oftentimes get to enjoy several hours of not ministering. Most of the time I connect with people, it's through ministry. But I had some fun. I got to go to College Station and see a couple of good godly movies, and go take a tour of the Presidential Library for George H.W. Bush, and walk dogs in the park. And in fact, when we were walking the dogs the last time around this apartment complex, I heard some music, and I'm like, hey, do you guys have a concert? And I'm like, can you have concerts at this early in the year, in March? And the lady was like, yes, I think we do. And so we went over there, and they were actually playing songs from the 80s. And I'm like, oh my gosh, So what does it do is it brings both of us back to when we were like teenagers, in the 1980s. And it was just like, oh my gosh, and I can be like a kid again. And I felt like that. It was just fun. It was a fun atmosphere, and of course there's, some songs obviously in the 80s that I will not listen to because they were demonic and evil and not good. But there's a lot of songs that are just fun. In fact, I remember they played a song by Bon Jovi called Wanted, Dead or Alive. And when I heard that song, it made me start to think about the demons like Jezebel, Leviathan. I want them dead or alive. Of course, I want to send them all back to hell. But I want people to get set free from that so they can enjoy their lives. They can have fun. They can, just laugh. Look at dogs and puppies and stuff and watch them play, and go for, riding bikes and walking, around the mall, whatever, and just enjoying life. The Lord wants to restore that. And I see a lot of people that have gone through the deliverances of Jezebel, Leviathan, and they're having great lives now. They're having that fun paid back to them. All the stuff that they went through, now they are enjoying. There's couples and families out in the state of Washington that are having fun. They had the best Christmas time they've ever had, and went on vacation, enjoying life. And they're getting things restored. And that's what the Lord wants for all of us. Until we get delivered from spirits Jezebel, Leviathan, Ahab, it's going to be really hard, because you're going to hear the voice of the enemy in your head. It's going to tell you things. It's going to cause you to do things, make decisions that are going to be selfish and taking offenses and things like that. And that's not good. Now, the other thing I'm going to say is, so when I was in San Antonio, earlier in March and late February, I got to hang out there for a couple of weeks. And I describe this family as the greatest family in America. I mean, it's funny, because when I had my family, I wanted basically what they have in their family, but I couldn't, because, my son had gotten hurt by another boy in our neighborhood, taught him things he shouldn't have, but that's part of my training. I had to go through that. It was not fun, but for 10 years, had nothing but strife in my family. And it was because I had a son that was essentially hearing the voice of the enemy, causing him to do things that were not good. But I see this family, and both the mom and the dad have gotten restored, to freedom from their past, their pains. And now I see how they are helping their children through times when the children are saying at odds with each other, or they say something that might hurt them, and they're able to help them to apologize. And they do what's called a confront, where they'll bring the two children together that are at odds in front of the parent, and they'll have them talk it through, and say, one of them may have to apologize to the other, but they resolve it. And it's very, very healthy. And it's like, oh my gosh, if we could have every family, see this family, all these shows that they do out there of where you've got these weird families that are so dysfunctional, and it's just so awful. It'd be nice to make a TV show where they could actually show a healthy family and follow them around all day with some of the decisions that they have to make and go through. And it's a peaceful place. I enjoy that. And in fact, I got to go for these walks with their two youngest children. I guess the son, he told me he was 8, but his mother just told me he's actually 7 still. So 7-year-old, and I guess the daughter's 6 years old. Their youngest two. They call them the Littles. And I always thought that was cute, the Littles. I'm like, so I love to go for walks. And so I'm like, one day I'm like, hey, would you guys like to go for a walk? Maybe we can take an adventure. Go off the streets and go into the woods and ravines that they have there. And they're like, yeah, let's do that. And so here I am getting to go for walks with kids, and I just enjoy myself. And we're taking these different places and paths I've never been to. Well, we did that one afternoon. We did it again the next afternoon, and then I would take them to the park, and they would play on the playground and have fun. And eventually we did it 3 or 4 or 5 straight times. And I started to, have more of an adventure imagination kind of come on me, and say, hey, guys, why don't we go to Mexico today? Because there was a place that was there that, we had not gone to yet, that I kind of imagined that it was Mexico. And they're like, yeah, let's go to Mexico. So sure enough, I took them down this ravine, past these woods, and then we started walking, towards this place that they were kind of envisioning could have been Mexico. And of course, the older, the boy was kind of like, this isn't Mexico. We're still in, San Antonio. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I think it's Mexico. I think you got to be careful, because they have some Mexican dogs over there that sometimes they're really big, and we don't want to have you carried away by these Mexican dogs. And so we went to where there was a fence, and I said, now we can't cross over the fence there, because that's where Mexico's at. But, at least we came here when we saw it. And so anyway, it was fun. It was a great time. And then they came home and told their parents, guess what, Mom, Dad, we went to Mexico. And they're like, what? You took them to Mexico? No, they didn't think that I actually did, but because they live probably, I don't know, hour and a half or something, maybe 2 hours from Mexico. So anyhow, after we did that for 4 or 5 straight days. Then they wanted to take me to what they called the duck pond. In fact, their parents were not home at the time. They're like, hey, can we go to the duck pond? And I'm like, sure. I go, I love ducks. Who doesn't love ducks, Of course, earlier that week, I did a Facebook Live from this river, the, what's it called? I don't know, Bernie River, I think, or something like that. that's in downtown Bernie, which is northwest of San Antonio. And I said, let's, and I did Facebook Lives there, and they had a ton of ducks there. Some of you might have remembered if you've seen it. Tons of ducks, tons of other fowl, geese, and whatever they were. And they would follow me around. They would honk and stuff. I would give them food one day. And so anyway, that's all that I knew of. I didn't know exactly where this duck pond, though, was at. And so the littles, the little girl was taking me, she was like on her scooter thingy, and then the boy was walking with me. And so we start leaving the neighborhood. We go a different area that I've never been to before, out of the neighborhood. And then we come to the end of that street. We then turn left. We're going down that street. And I mean, we're walking like, I don't know, at least 1.5 miles away, maybe 2 miles or something from their home. And I'm like, keep walking. I'm like, okay, where is the duck pond at, guys? I'm getting a little bit tired here. Where is the duck pond at? Oh, it's just down the street here. It's just down the street here. So we keep walking, and then we have to be careful because there's no more sidewalks now. So now we have the road, and we have to walk like on the edge of the grass. And of course, the little girl has her scooter thing that doesn't run very well in the grass, and so I'm having to like pick it up and carry it. And then we keep walking, and I'm like, okay, where's the duck pond? Now I'm getting tired because we've been doing this for like an hour. And they're like, oh, it's just like down this street, down. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, maybe 2 more miles. I'm like, 2 more miles? I go, I am not going to go 2 more miles now with you guys. It's going to be dark by the time you get home. And so I'm like, we need to turn around. Well, then we went to turn around. I saw some deer that were next to this creek, which was kind of nice, kind of pretty. And then we finally came back home. When we came back home, the kids and the mom was like, so, where'd you guys go today? I'm like, well, they were trying to take me to some duck pond, but we couldn't find the duck pond. And she starts cracking up. She's like, really? Seriously? She goes, I know where that's at. She goes, that's like that river that you went to, yesterday and did your Facebook Live. That's the duck pond. I'm like, what? That's not a pond. I go, that's like a river. I go, they want me to walk all the way down there, all the way like in downtown Bernie? I'm like, oh my gosh, that'd take forever. And so she just starts cracking up and laughing. And of course, I'm having fun too, because I'm like, they're just little kids. So, but I see so much fun in enjoying life when you can be like a kid again, and when you've not had the innocence of a child when you grew up. When you get delivered from the spirits of Jezebel, Leviathan, and Ahab, you can return back to that innocence again, and you can have fun. I enjoy wherever I go. I enjoy and I have fun, and I laugh. I don't strive about anything. I don't worry about anything. I don't worry about nothing. I don't have a regular amount of money coming in from people. Some more and more people are starting to give monthly, but I don't ask for that. It just happens. God speaks to them, Holy Spirit speaks to them, and then people make random donations, and then of course I speak, and I have money that's received when I'm speaking, and offerings taken, and then I have my books. So it's all faith-like. I have to have the childlike faith to be able to do this, and I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun. The Lord along the way has been giving me a lot of fun. Like I've been up some of you may not remember, but back in August of last year, I was in the western part of New York, and this guy had a powerized parachute. He's like, hey, you want to go up in my powerized parachute? And I'm like, what? Really? Cool. I'm like, yes, absolutely. I've never been on that before. And so I got to go up in the powerized parachute, and here I am flying over like southeast of Buffalo, and you can see Buffalo from there. You can see Lake Erie. And we're like, I don't know, we're not that far up in the air, but all of a sudden I'm on Facebook Live with this, and people are watching it, and they're like, what? Where are you at now? I'm like, this is so awesome. It was like a dream of a kid to go up in one of those, and that was fun. So the Lord does. He wants to reward us with fun and enjoyment. He wants us to have maybe the childhood that we've never had before. He wants to reward us, but we have to make sure we're delivered. If we're not delivered from those spirits, then he can't, because we're going to be driven by those bad decisions in our head as those demons are whispering to us, causing us to control, manipulate, lie, deceive, be sexually impure. All that stuff designed by the enemy to steal our childlike innocence and our fun, our wholesome fun. The Lord wants us to have fun. He wants us to enjoy. He wants us to be little again, like the littles from Bernie. And they can't wait for me to come back. In fact, I was talking to their mom just a minute ago, and she was like, yeah, she goes, after you left, they really missed the walks, and so they drug me out to go for walks. I'm like, well, how long did that last? She's like, oh, a couple of days, I'm like, oh man, I missed those walks. Those were fun, She's like, yep. She goes, as soon as you come back here, you're going to take those kids for more walks because they want to have fun. They want to enjoy that. And so that's part of all of our assignments in life, I believe, from the Lord, is He wants us to be restored back to having fun again. What do the angels do? The angels have fun. They like to even play tricks on the humans, I believe, and do things like, I'll say this today. So yesterday, I wear glasses, and, I have problems seeing it with distance. It's not horrible vision, but I definitely need the glasses. So today I could not find my glasses this morning. I get up like at 4:44. I have a dream. Get up, and the Lord tells me to write this blog about being childlike and talk about it on Facebook Live. He always tells me, like, in the morning normally, what I'm going to talk about. I don't plan for this. It just happens, and then I talk about it. I don't go into any research about this stuff. It just flows. So anyway, I couldn't find my glasses. I'm looking everywhere in this house. Could not find them. I'm like, so the first thing I was going to do is go work out. So I'm like, well, I've done it before where I've driven my car without my glasses, and the gym is like literally a tenth of a mile from this house. So I drive over to the gym, work out, and then I come back, and I'm like, where are my glasses? I cannot find my glasses. I kind of need my glasses, I think, to drive to Canada. And so I start to go through some of my books that I have in boxes, and I've looked everywhere. Well, then when I finally go to take a shower, I'm changing my clothes, and I put some of my old clothes in my suitcase because I basically live out of my suitcase now. Well, there's my glasses. They were sitting in the suitcase, and I'm thinking, what? When did I put my glasses in the suitcase? I don't remember doing that. So maybe the angels. The angels like to have fun. They like to play with us. My mentor said it used to happen to him all the time. They would like tease him. They would like have him go into a restaurant and sit in a certain spot, and then just like have delay after delay after delay. He's like, wow, what is going on? And so I believe that that's what the Lord wants us to make sure we have in our life. Don't get into worry. Don't get into fear ever, no matter what. Sorry about that. I talked about this in my book, Keep Your Faith On, that, when you have a job, you're getting paid money, what faith is that? Because a lot of people, well, I've got faith for this or that. And I'm like, well, you'll really prove your faith if you are losing your job or you don't have a source of income that's coming in anymore. That happened to me back in like 2012. I went for a run. I knew that my heart was no longer in corporate America. I wanted to come away from that and do ministry full time. So what I did is the Lord spoke to me. He knew my heart. I wanted to do ministry. He spoke to me and said that I was going to lose my job that day. I was going to get a phone call from my boss. Sure enough, an hour later, I get a phone call from my boss telling me that my division, it had been sold off. A lot of the business and stuff we had been sold off, but I still work for Intuit Financial Services. Well, guess what? They didn't need me anymore. They didn't need our whole team. And so we were given, I think it was 2 months notice, and also given a severance package, so it was nice. But I didn't get into worry and fear because I'm like, okay, God's going to take care of me. He didn't take me all the way to learn all this stuff without taking me into the full-time ministry that He's promised. So I didn't worry about it. And then the next day the Lord said, don't even look for a job. He'll bring it, I'll bring it to you. And He did. He actually gave me a higher income than I had. It was a temporary position where I was a consultant kind of deal. I wasn't an employee, but I did get paid a higher base salary than I had before. And I did that for 9 months. And then after that, the Lord said, you can't even find the job if you want to. So I didn't have a job after that. And I had to trust Him, had to have faith. Now, I could have gotten into worry and fear and said, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, and lost my childlike faith and lost my childlike fun and innocence. But I didn't. I went out and I still had fun. I enjoyed my life. I went for walks. I listened to the Lord. I read books, and I continued to grow spiritually. But a big part of what's missing in a lot of adults' lives are having fun as a child, having wholesome fun. I'm not talking about the world's fun, going out and getting drunk and having sex and things like that. That's not fun. That is getting closer to the enemy and demons and getting them into your life. So wholesome fun are things such as going for walks, in the park, riding your bike, going for runs, things like I love working out. I love to work out in the mornings. It's like my body craves that because it wants it, but I don't do it to a crazy degree. I used to run marathons, and that was not good. I did like 26.2-mile races, and I trained really hard for some of them, and it wasn't fun. I'm like looking back now, I'm like, I don't even want to run anymore. I'd rather go for walks. Walks are cool because walks you can talk to people on the phone, you can listen to the Lord, you can put on praise music, you can enjoy your life. So anyway, I think it's important for all of us to have fun, to enjoy our lives, and to not stress about anything at all. So just enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. So let me see. Some people are saying they're having challenges watching this. Let me bring it up on my iPad. Oh, well, nope, I can see it. I think it's still working. So it might be on your end. So, and let me know if anybody else is having any problems seeing it. Anyone else having any problems seeing it? Let's see. I think you guys are watching this. So, maybe just a couple of you that are not being able to see it. So anyway, my schedule coming up for everybody is I'm leaving for Canada tomorrow. I'll be in Canada tomorrow night. I'll be ministering Friday night. My screen is distorted. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with Facebook. Anyway, I'll be in Canada tomorrow night, and that will be I'll be speaking on Friday, March the 30th, and then I will be in doing a training on Saturday of this week. So, I'm not sure what's going on. Well, if you guys can't see me or hear me very well, then maybe I should just end it. Sorry about that, guys. So anyway, I'll be in Canada this next 2 weeks. You can see me on my calendar, and then I'll be in Sandusky, Ohio, April the 15th, and I'll be back in Texas, in San Angelo, April the 20th through the 22nd, and then I'll be in Houston the 28th, and San Antonio, May the 4th and 5th. So, I do see you now. I can hear you. Oh, well, okay, I'm not sure. Maybe that's on individuals' ends then. So anyway, I'm getting busier and busier and busier, and the Lord is doing great things, and it's amazing to watch the people's lives getting set free, getting delivered, and growth is a good thing, and seeing people's lives change is a great thing, and seeing marriages saved is a great thing. So I thank all of you guys for watching and supporting, and any new people out there, I know a lot of people aren't aware of some of the books the Lord had me write that are helping people. You can go out to Amazon, and I've got them available in paperback and Kindle and Audible. And all the Audible books now have been corrected, as far as there were a couple of things where I made some changes and I didn't actually edit them out. So thank you for my ministry partner, Tina. Tina Marie Kirkpatrick has helped tremendously. She listened to all the books in like 1 week, 30 hours worth. She's like a machine when it comes to listening and editing. So anyway, I guess that's about it. If anyone has any questions, those that can see or hear. That is so weird. Some of you guys are having issues and some aren't. Yeah, I'm seeing myself on here. Good. So I'm not sure what's going on. But if you have any questions, let me know, those of you that can see and hear. And welcome Molly Ryan from Colorado. So anyone have any questions, let me know. But again, try to focus on this next week, having fun, enjoying yourself. Rainbows? People are seeing rainbows? What is going on? What in the wild, wild west is going on? I'll have to watch it. Now I see them. Now I see myself, and I'm distorted. I'm like really skinny. All right, I don't know what's going on. I guess I will let you guys go. So have a good day. We'll see you later. Bye bye.